Are you looking to start a videography and photography business but don't know where to begin? In this video, I'm going to show you the key elements that will help turn your passion into a profitable business. When I look back as to why I started my videography and photography business, the biggest reason is that it served a need. It just seemed like everybody wanted a video to grow their business. Now, this is a far cry from the back in the days when I used to play in rock bands, where I never really seemed to make that much money, and that's really because there was a band on every street corner, just your basic economics of supply and demand. Also, I wasn't as emotionally attached to video and photography work like I was music, in that my self-worth was wrapped up in how successful I was. I really just didn't care. For some reason, I was just able to separate myself from the work and look at it more as an entrepreneur rather than an artist. Now, when I started 3 years ago, I had very little experience. Now, while I had a background in marketing, it took a lot of trial and error until I felt competent in what I was doing. One thing you want to think about when starting out is who your target niche will be. Each will have its own specific needs, benefits, and drawbacks. That's why it's helpful to work in a niche that you're really interested in and enjoy working with the people. I tend to focus on small business owners and professionals, so my services include real estate, corporate videos, and commercials. I have zero interest in doing weddings and live events, while some people really enjoy this type of work. Whatever niche you decide to work in, you definitely want to differentiate yourself from your competition and play to your strengths. I realized early on that there was no way that I could compete with some of the other video production companies in my local area that had pro gear, went to film school, had a huge soundstage, and a film crew. Instead, I positioned myself more as a video marketer and therefore included services such as creating landing pages, hosting the videos, and setting up video campaigns. I would tell potential clients that with me, you're not just going to get an expensive fancy video that you don't know what to do with. Instead, you'll get an end-to-end service to set you up for success and know that you got a return on your investment. Now, I'm not going to go crazily in detail about all the gear that you need to get. Like I mentioned before, all I had was an iPhone. That said, there are a few items I would recommend as you scale up. Good DSLR or mirrorless camera, LED lights, good mic, camera stand, gimbal, camera bag, lens filters, SD cards, lots of them, computer with a fast hard drive, external hard drive, some decent editing software, and 1 or 2 lenses. If you're low on funds, there are a few strategies that you can utilize, such as borrowing gear and also renting gear for really high-end projects. At the end of the day, I would always steer clear of trying to get in too much debt and have the customer finance the business. And what I mean by having the customer pay for the business is have them pay up front, maybe half, and then go buy your gear. In the beginning, your real goal should just be to build up your portfolio. I would film all kinds of projects, from neighborhood Halloween parties, school events, and music performances at the local college. Like I said, as you're still building your skills, don't worry too much about pay at this point. I would just take whatever budget they had so I could get the work experience. At a certain point, you will need to start pricing your services at what you feel your worth is. I would not try to beat the competition on price and try to be the loss leader, because people tend to perceive higher price as having better quality. Focus on the value that you offer and that you can deliver the result that the client is after. Once you have a few projects under your belt, the next step is to set up a website showcasing your services. Now, it really doesn't matter which platform you use, WordPress, Squarespace, but just set up a simple one-page website that describes who you are and what you can do. Make sure you have a section for your portfolio, contact information, and especially client reviews. You can go to my website, andrewcooper.com, to get a good example. I would also make sure you have an Instagram profile set up and stay up to date posting your latest content. Later on, you can start building a YouTube channel or whatever platform that your audience hangs out on. As your business scales, it's really important to have systems and a solid workflow to stay on track and eliminate stress. I manage all my projects in Trello so I can visually see everything in one place. When I'm going to video shoots, I have checklists for the gear I need to bring, shot lists. I also create video templates for recurring projects. Another thing that I would recommend is to hire out when necessary, especially if there are services that you don't necessarily like to do or don't have time for. One of the best decisions that I've made is outsourcing my real estate photo editing, as it saves me a ton of time and money. On the legal side of things, I would strongly recommend forming an LLC or limited liability company. In addition to the tax write-offs, it also offers legal protection in case, God forbid, you get sued, they can't go after your personal assets. Also make sure you have insurance for your gear, such as a drone, in case you accidentally damage property. Now, a lot of videos tend to focus on growing your freelance business, but not a lot talk about working in-house. You can actually do both, which is what I do. As of the recording of this video, I still work a full-time job as a videographer. Now, believe it or not, there are a lot of companies right now hiring in-house videographers and photographers. In my case, I work for a large auto dealership with multiple locations. And even though I have set hours, I am my own boss and have a lot of flexibility. So it's kind of like running my own business. In addition to the steady income, I get a wide range of projects to work on, which has really honed my skills in a short period of time, as well as staying up to date on video industry trends. When not working at the dealership, I still have clients in my local area that I work with, including real estate companies, mom and pop retailers, and business professionals. So if you're unsure about taking the leap and starting a full-time business right out of the gates, I would definitely consider an in-house gig. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that you don't need a lot of fancy equipment, experience, going to film school, and all that sort of thing. Having the ability to tell a good story, which comes from being empathetic to the client's needs, is what will really determine the success of your business. Always over-deliver on what you promised. Understand that you're going to make a lot of mistakes in the beginning, fail fast, and blow through that learning curve as soon as possible. And I guarantee you, there will come a point when you wake up and realize, hey, I'm a full-time videographer and photographer. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more tips and tricks on how to grow your videography and photography business. My name is Andrew Cooper at andrewcoopervideo.com. I'll see you next time. Take care.